I'm traveling again. On Tuesday, for the very first time since the lockdown started here in Vienna back in early March, I packed my suitcase, got into a taxi, went to the airport and flew to Germany to meet a client. Everything super cautious, of course, with face mask and everything, but this is so much better than talking to clients on a Zoom call. So it almost feels like being back to normal. And not just travel is back to normal, client expectations are back to normal as well. Companies now have half of 2020 in their books and they see huge financial gaps. So they're turning to procurement with the expectation to deliver big savings quickly. And in this video, I'm going to show you an approach that does exactly that. It aims at delivering double savings within 1 quarter. I'm calling it the Pareto Approach to guide suppliers. Let's get started. The key difference between the Pareto approach and anything else we have seen in procurement is that we are making it personal for suppliers. Rather than working through abstract categories, we are going directly to the suppliers. And we assign clear responsibilities for owning the relationship with a supplier. Every company has a Pareto of suppliers similar to the one shown here. 20 to 40 A suppliers account for 50% of the spend. 100 to 200 B suppliers account for another 35%. And thousands of C suppliers make up for the remaining 15% of spend. Each of the 3 supplier segments is dealt with in a specific way. A suppliers are brought into a focus program in a CEO to CEO discussion. In essence, this means that the supplier commits to double savings upfront. In return, your CEO helps the supplier CEO to improve all aspects of the joint business to make the supplier more profitable in the long run. For B suppliers, we are ensuring that the right methods to reduce cost are applied. We are doing this by introducing the purchasing chessboard. In all likelihood, the many C suppliers have never been touched by serious cost down efforts in the past, and we are changing this with a haircut. Let's now dive deeper into the focus program. As a reminder, the focus program is where we address the A suppliers with the intention of doubling the savings performance with them. So how do we achieve savings quickly in the focus program? We achieve it by doing things very differently. Normally, in cost down efforts, you do a lot of stuff that takes a long time, and at the very end of it, you may or may not get savings. In the focus program, we ask for savings commitment from suppliers upfront. Only once we have the commitment, we engage in activities. Also, normally cost down efforts are happening at the operation level between procurement people and account managers. They have limited decision authority and are burdened by things that have happened in the past. In the focus program, we elevate the discussion to CEO level. CEOs can make big decisions and take the relationship between the 2 companies to the next level. There's another aspect that I have discussed a lot with clients. There's a persistent belief that there's no win-win in procurement, or in other words, that procurement is a zero-sum game. In the focus program, we go beyond that. The fundamental idea is that there are topics that, if addressed and solved, would improve both the suppliers and the OEM's profit margin. So how does the CEO to CEO discussion get started? We have made very good experience with letters. The letter should start with providing context. So why you need higher savings now? Then the letter asks for double savings. Next, the letter should outline the benefits for the supplier in participating in the program. And the supplier should be invited to list topics that would help the supplier to become more profitable. It is important to note that the letter will be most effective if it is highly personalized. One of my clients compared it to a really well-written Christmas card and spent entire weekends refining minute details of the letters. Speaking from experience, not all supplier CEOs immediately get the focus program. In fairness, it is unusual and to a certain degree may sound counterintuitive, so it will take some explaining. At some point, suppliers need to be presented with a clear choice, which essentially goes like this. Look, I am going to dedicate substantial resources to the focus program. My intention is to have these resources help you to become more profitable and grow business with us. But these resources can also be deployed to audit everything you're doing and help grow your competitors. The choice is yours. Maybe the hardest part of the focus program for supplier CEOs is coming up with meaningful topics. I found this very surprising, and it feels a bit as if Aladdin was granted wishes by the genie and had no idea what to ask for. I found it useful to do a little bit of brainstorming for the supplier CEOs and show them examples of what they could ask for. Normally, with a little bit of back and forth, we are able to bridge the gap from the current performance to double savings. The topics that we address in the focus program cover all aspects of the joint business between the customer and the supplier. These topics include operational areas like manufacturing and procurement, and we have helped suppliers to introduce lean, and we have helped them to improve buying from sub-tier suppliers. And we are addressing strategic topics like new product architectures that we jointly develop with suppliers. It is important to note that there are no sacred cows in the CEO to CEO discussion. Anything one of the CEOs deems relevant should be considered. Okay, next is the purchasing chessboard. As a reminder, we are applying this to B suppliers with the intention of maximizing savings. Having 100 to 200 B suppliers working through the CEO is not feasible. So we have to go through the buyers, and this is a problem. The problem is that buyers follow fashion trends. Imagine the following situation. We have 3 buyers, Peter, Paul, and Mary. Mary tries out a new method and achieves a lot of savings. Peter follows Mary's example and fails. What will Paul do? Of course, he's staying away from the method, even though it would have worked perfectly for him. Together with my friends and colleagues, I developed the purchasing chessboard to change this counterproductive following of fashion trends. With the chessboard, we provide clear guidance which method to pick in a given situation with a supplier. We do this by analyzing the customer's demand power and the supplier's supply power. With this, we cover all possible situations and can recommend 1 out of the 64 methods. The purchasing chessboard has become somewhat of a cross-industry standard, and if you want to learn more about it, there's a playlist of videos on the chessboard on my channel. Okay, moving on to the haircut for C suppliers. Here we won't mobilize the CEO nor the buyers. We nominate 1 caretaker for all C suppliers. And this caretaker manages a workflow. In the workflow, we first determine a cost down ask based on an algorithm. Then we send a standard letters to the suppliers informing them of the cost down ask. Depending on the supplier's response, they go into a specific escalation mechanism. So we achieve quite interesting savings with limited effort. So in summary, I have seen the Pareto approach work at many clients. It works in the automotive industry, in high tech, in consumer goods, in oil and gas, anywhere. It works in Europe, America, and Asia. It works not just once, it works several years in a row. It works in good times and it works in crisis. Every time it more or less doubles savings. The focus program for A suppliers cements relationships between board members of customers and suppliers. The purchasing chessboard ensures that the right levers are pulled for B suppliers. The haircut makes C suppliers step up and deliver savings. Now it is your turn. Let me know in the comments down below what it would take to deploy the Pareto approach at your company, and should you have any question, I promise to get back to you within 24 hours. And if useful, I may even respond with a dedicated video. Thank you for watching and stay safe. Bye.